I always wondered, bro, that I know a lot of people from that era wondered was, it looked like y'all was back like Germantown and shit like that.
Yeah, that's exactly where we was back.
So how did these Jones even end up right there in the first place, knowing that it was a lot going on with them DVDs where people were saying, you know, niggas' names and shit like that?
Honestly, I think, I think he was back there with Buckz folks or some shit. And then, you know, that's where Buckz and Noah from. So, Noah was Buckz was out there, Joe. Buckz called me.
Free Buckz.
Yeah, he called me like, yo, I don't even think he told us that the nigga D Jones was there or some shit. I think he just like, yo, slide back here real quick. We thinking it's some shit. We jump in the car, slide quick. This fucking nigga D Jones back to Joe. And this at the time when I guess they were saying he was coming at me and shit. So, you know how that shit went. But we didn't know how to take rap shit and the street shit different. We didn't know that rap shit to certain of these niggas was only rap shit. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, you see that they got the D Jones back there because we thinking this shit serious. We thinking this shit is on site. You think what I'm saying? So when we see it, we want to see what all this bark is about. You think what I'm saying? But it's different with certain artists because they really only beefing just the beef on track. You think what I'm saying? Then you got your real beefs out here that's real beefs. You think what I'm saying? But like back in the day, see the Shottas, we didn't know how to take the rap shit and the street shit different.
For the streets, y'all. Niggas relate to me. I'm from the streets, dawg. Chic Raw. Shots for the streets, y'all. Niggas relate to me. Check it. I'm a rider, so I be there when the riot jump. With an all-black dicky in a riot pump. High and drunk, I love when the guns shoot. Switching lanes, got brand hanging out the sun, yeah. Low decks in the back with the Mac 10. Low enough shells, we about to get it cracking. Black tent on my lap with a collie lay. Ride by slow while I'm listening to Holiday. Pay him a visit, drive by spraying a biscuit. Let a slug fly lay in his biscuit. Then his mug fly shaking and twitching. Leave his blood dry next to his pictures. The next day, then I spray all the witness. I don't play with the district, I try to duck law. CL6 wide body, the color duck sauce. I'm getting sucked off, doing the beam. Everything ain't true as it seems. Yeah, I mean, I was broke in the beginning. Cocaine money I'm spinning. Dope chains in the 20s is spinning. Oak grain for the bunnies that get in. I'm a boss, nigga. Money, nigga. Chic Raw. Shots for the streets, y'all. Niggas relate to me. I'm from the streets, dawg. Chic Raw. Shots for the streets, y'all. Niggas relate to me. I'm from the streets, dawg.
Shout out to everybody that was a part of the DVD era, man. It's a lot of legends, bro, and we ain't gonna trip. A lot of them got overlooked and their careers wasn't able to, you know, elevate. A lot of times it was because these was real street guys, you know what I mean? They doing it from the curve, still in the trenches. Like I said, before the drill wave and all of that, like once the drill wave hit, when Chief Keef, you know what I'm saying, came out, that was borderline of artists as being control of their own music and stuff like that. Well, you know, you saw artists like Chief Keef come out and they all on the videos and they pulling out 30s and stuff like that. Now, they made it famous because YouTube, the whole world was tuned into it. You know, earlier years of YouTube is different than nowadays. Nowadays, YouTube is like a big ocean where it's a lot of drill rappers or people that's talented and their videos could get overlooked. Back then, the thumbnail, having a thumbnail back 2011, 2012, and the thumbnail picture is somebody holding a burner with a 30 hanging out of it. It was, you know what I'm saying? It was unthought of, you know what I mean? Chief Keef made it famous, bro, as far as being on videos, pulling those out. But we not going to trip. I don't know where y'all from, but I know where I'm from. You know, people, they just wasn't saying 30s. They was extended clips, you know what I mean? Me, myself, out in the streets, I personally seen extendos. I saw, you know what I'm saying, it was somebody from my hood, man, and Frame, because he's down for a body right now. And the first time I seen a 30, he had a 30 inside of a 25, bro. Like, It was like a 25 or a 380. One of those two joints. It was like a pocket rocker. You know what I'm saying? With an extendo. It had, actually, it wasn't a 30. It was like 21 in the joint or something like that. It was like a one of them 20 dippers or something. But I remember the lad hanging out that joint, and it was crazy. Back then, we talking about 06, you know what I mean? Around that era and things of that nature. So, you know, people was definitely having joints like that. But once the Chief Keef era came, we never seen like 10, 15 people all in a group and had them joints like that. Because if you from the streets, period, you already know. Back in our era, you know, I'm 30 plus. Back in our era, you had to wait till them joints come your way. Like, you know, people would be like, this person got this for sale. Somebody is spin through your block. Like, I'm selling this right here. Excuse the yak, but y'all know how I gotta carry it. People will spin through your block with joints. By the time Chief Keef era and all that hit, it was different. Even to now, these young boys can really get they hands on joints as soon as they get the money. Back when I was coming up, you hustling and all that, you gotta always make sure you have some money to the side to get your hands on one. But that's not here to glorify, to speak about that, but I'm just saying how the eras was. But before the drill wave, before Chicago was always rocking. We not gonna trip. I was in Glen Mills with them guys, and they was, you know what I'm saying, they was been getting busy. I'm talking about 04, 05, and they was in there. This is before it was the BDKs and all of, you know, the extra. Well, they could have been out, but I know when I was in Glen Mills, everybody from Chicago they was all GDs. You know what I'm saying? They was all vice lords and things of that nature. We wasn't hearing about no BDKs. I didn't even ever hear nobody talking about being a BD back 04 and stuff like that. It used to be GDs, and they used to be in there, and they used to be like on the nation, and they would do like a little pound joint like that. All the Chicago guys, y'all know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? But not to get into that too much, but you know, before that era had came, you check out the DVD era, bro. Philly, New York, been on camera and they was pulling them burners out. Philly, been on camera pulling them burners out for sure, for sure. And I'm talking about not no signed artists, not nobody that, you know, I'm talking about guys that was straight in the hood. And the going back and forth and the disrespect, we been doing that. We been doing that. You know what I'm talking about? We set a whole trend where that's not respected nowadays. It's not respected in the battle rap era. That's why I feel like the DVD Legends and all of them from Philly, bro, stepping on that stage, you kind of like, you jeopardize your legacy with that. It's even like Cass. Cass got in the joint. He did his battle, his face off the truth, but you jeopardize your legacy doing that, bro. It's best to just fade. You know what I'm saying? You know, you in a different bracket. But that's neither here nor there. What I want to get into is the DVD era and how famous guys was and what guys was talking about in their raps. And today, I'm talking about a very, very special artist from the DVD era. He's definitely a legend. Before we knew who Meek was, before we knew who Hannibal was, Reed Dollaz, a lot of these legends that ended up being great and very impactful. Shout out to all of them. But this is just a fact. Before we knew who any of these guys was, NH, any of them, it was Chic Raw. Chic Raw, man, bro. The impact that Chic Raw had to the DVD era. The impact that Chic Raw had to the DVD era was very, very important. Now, peep game, and this is why. For one, Chic was featured on that Too Raw for the Streets. I can't even say DVD. I gotta say tape, because this is when I heard this was around 03. Might have even been 02, bro. Around 02, 03, somewhere creeping around there. You know what I'm saying? And this was the Too Raw for the Streets tape that Cassidy was hosting. Now, what made this so special is because it was on VHS tape when I seen the joint. The first one I ever seen. And this is with Cheek and Vok. I'm not going to get into Vok on this one. Right now, this is strictly Chic Raw and the Shottas. Shout out to 1000 Proof, though, my guy. But I was on house arrest from St. Gabe's placement, bro. I had the strap on my ankle. My man Brand come over with the tape, bro. I was a bad young boy, bro. I never followed parole or probation ever, even from like the juvenile to adult, and not the glorified. But what I mean by not following it, nigga, once I got out, I was in the air with it. Like, I was definitely like blowing it. Like, I was on intensive. I had house arrest and intensive probation, where it was like, once I got out of school, they gave me like an hour and a half to get in the crib from school. So it was times where, you know, I would try to get home fast as possible. And they used to have like, it was so strict that I had to like check in like on the regular with the PO and stuff like that. It was like phone calls and all that they'd make to the crib on top of me having an ankle monitor on. But with me being in the crib, I couldn't really shake and bake. Like, I lived next door to a corner store, and somebody back in the day, which I don't know if it worked because I wasn't going that far, because I used to live right next door to a corner store, a poppy joint, and I used to wrap foil on my ankle bracelet and dip to the store. And I never had no issues with being out of range, because the ankle monitor, I don't know how it is now, but back then it was connected to your house phone. So it was something where it can track how far you was from your house phone. You know what I'm saying? So I used to have to go to the store while I was getting, this is back when we used to burn the Vanilla Dutchess and all of that. We did backwoods then too, but that was only for like if we had like some sour or something, that A1 sour. So this time I went to the store, I had got some Dutchies and all that, and I had a nice little personal in the crib, bro. I was in the crib, I'm steaming up. So my man called me and all that, like, yo, I'm about to slide through. Bro, he come over with the VHS tape, bro. I didn't know what it was. He like, yo, watch this joint. He put that joint on, bro. Oh my goodness. What made this joint so special was that Cassidy was hosting it. And this is when Cassidy was lit. I'm talking about lit, bro. This is when, before probably a lot of the world had seen the Cassidy and Freeway joint. Like Philly, we had the, you know, we were from Philly. We was getting all that fresh, raw, and uncut. This was before YouTube and all of that. So I was actually had a little debate with a few of the subs, because I had did a joint talking about the Cassidy and Freeway battle. And they was trying to tell me that people didn't know about it until a certain year. And I'm like, that might be the case, but out Philly, we saw it before. That's like the E-Ness and Hollow Man drink. We saw that. We saw this is we wasn't pulling up YouTube back then. Niggas was coming in with VHS tapes. You know what I'm saying? E-Ness and Cass. I mean, E-Ness and Hollow Man. I saw that on the VHS tape too. You know what I mean? And so, long story short, I see this joint, bro, and I was already hype about it because, you know what I'm saying, Cass was that guy, bro. Like, I'm like, Cass featuring it. I didn't know who Cheek was. I didn't know who Vok was. Cree Forge, you know what I'm saying? And Ness was on that drink. We knew who Ness was. So, I'm watching the joint and they got different rappers. I'm like, oh, these guys is fire, bro. Like, you had Scrap Metal on the joint, Monster Man and all them. They was airing it out. You had Forge on there. You had Ness on there. And then this one guy step out. He stands out to me. Two of them stood out. Of course, Cheek and Vok. You know what I mean? But what was crazy was my man, you know, he already knew who Cheek and Vok was, because he used to be cutting through that section of Uptown already. He knew who Cheek and Vok was. So he like, yo, this is my man right here. He's hot, bro. It was Chic Raw. Back then, he wasn't even Chic Raw. He was Chico, bro. You know what I'm saying? So He like, this my man right here. And then I hear the legendary freestyle.
Keeping it real, I ain't gon' hold ya. Serve to the smokers, blow trees with my soldiers. CL, backplate, 310 motors, the kid back boulders. No worries for clientele. I get rid of every drug that I'm trying to sell. I fire L's and I'm quick to let a shell blow and put a knot on your head the size of an elbow. So try grab me and I'ma start throwing sparks. And you gon' die trying to wrestle like Owen Hart. Dickhead, young Chic trying to double stack so I can cop the Bugs Bunny mics with the double straps. But it's the drought and the money what I'm after, so I'ma start charging up cells like adapters. I'm not a rapper, really a true rider. That'll twist your top in like screwdrivers. You new riders, I'm patiently grinding, putting my time in. Watch got the diamonds, so stop your whining. Sean John designing, drive while reclining. Seats total climate, navigation screen, let the car computer find it. BMW custom made 45 shit. Roll with my get cop, shape up my jackpot. Jersey with the hat cop. Chicks think I'm that hot, I need to cool off. They think I'm too soft. I've been on the streets on the bike trying to move soft. Pitching on white rocks, ditching on white cops. Banshee with the white shocks, authentic white socks. Chicks want a bike cop, they see my last wagon. The piece glow like Leroy from the last track. Even at nighttime, the chain stunning. Niggas look down the block like, yo, the train coming.
Bro, this legendary freestyle right here, the bars on that joint, the try to grab me and I'm gonna start throwing sparks and you gonna die trying to wrestle like Owen Hart. WWF was big for my generation. Nigga, we all watched SmackDown every Thursday when The Rock and all them was lit. And we remember when Owen Hart died because people thought that it was fake, that it was, because you know wrestling was a vicious acting joint. So when Owen Hart fell from the joint and all that, and he said that punchline right there, bro, it was out of the galaxy. And what made it crazy was the whole city, North Philly, South Philly, West, they all love Chic, bro. They love Chic. Chic, what made Chic so important was being from Uptown. What a lot of people probably don't talk about is North niggas, West, the P, South Philly, all of them. You know what I'm talking about? They always thought Uptown was sweet for it. You know what I'm saying? They thought that Uptown guys was sweet because you go certain areas Uptown and the cribs look nice. But it's the same way out West, so I never understood that. You go out West, certain Winfield and all that, you know what I'm saying? It's some nice houses out West. I compare West to Germantown, bro. Truthfully, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a fact. Uptown and all that, like, you know what I'm saying? I compare the two areas. It's the same thing. High Islamic communities, nice cribs. It go down, though. You know what I mean? You go on certain blocks, Uptown, Brickyard, my section, the Ville, you know what I'm saying? Haynes Street, Jungle, all that, all them areas. You cut through them back blocks, they look like North blocks, bro. Like, we got some tight blocks back that joint, you know, where it's a no come through zone, bro. It don't matter where you're from and all that. It's no different than any area in the city. But when Chic spit that joint, bro, it let the city know. And them Uptown niggas, they get into what we get into. Just from the lingo. Like I said, I'm not going to speak on vodka, nothing like that. Right now, we're going to keep it strictly Chic. But at that time, he was going by the name Chico. So I saw that John, he had the black hat and those black quoted jacket. Them Jones was in Philly. Everybody had one of them Jones. So we saw his aggression. We seen him rapping and snapping. We seen the vein popping through his forehead. So Uptown niggas out and everybody was like, yeah, Chic. Niggas was rooting them on like these niggas know what time it is. You know what I mean? After that, we get the alleyway freestyle. I just bought a new handgun. I'm fishing to shoot. I'm gonna start banging niggas like Bishop and Juice. Yeah. Like that joint hit. We like, yo, this nigga Chic is going crazy, bro. Remind you, by the time he dropped this joint, it's still no Reed, still no Meek, it's still none of these guys. So Chic, Vok, Cree, and all these guys, like, they had the mainstream right now because we seen Cassidy, we see Ness, Ness career, DVD, and making it a band, that all fell in one. By the time we saw Ness on it, you know what I'm saying? By the time we seen Ness and Hollow Man battle, Ness was already on. Niggas already seen making it a band. Niggas already knew he was signed to Bad Boy. So it was like, we looked at Ness and Cassidy as different. They were signed artists. But like Cheek and them guys, these niggas wasn't signed. But they was as famous as them niggas, at least in the city. I can't speak of everywhere else. But the tri-state, should I say, niggas knew who these niggas was. So Cheek through the alleyway joint, he's going crazy on the alleyway joint. It's like, yeah, this nigga is a problem, bro. He's a problem. After this, he get the Shottas. The Shottas consisted of Quilly, Lil Man, Hannibal, Buckz, bro. Now these niggas got a dream team, bro. Quill end up fading off. For one, it was an altercation between Lil Man and Quill. Cause Lil Man was already a part of the Shottas. So Quill trying to come, Lil Man wasn't having it. He like, who this nigga, blah, say, blah. Lil Man like nigga, we gonna have to battle. Like, you know what I'm saying? We got to battle and stuff like that. And you know, Lil Man was hot. You know what I'm saying? He always had like a hot temper and things of that nature. So, you know, he was blacking out. You know what I'm saying? Snapping, like, you know, and he never wanted to accept niggas that the newcomers that was trying to come to the Shottas. You know what I'm saying? That even go for Buckz. We just saw an interview with Buckz was even talking about, you know, Lil Man wasn't having it. Like, nigga, you ain't no Shotta. He gotta know that you ain't no pussy. You know what I'm saying? If you wanted to be a part of the Shottas, because, you know, Lil Man, he would have, you know what I'm saying? He would have died for that Shotta brand. You know, he was very serious about that. Him and Cheek is damn near, you know what I'm saying? They brothers, like, brothers for real, bro. So, you know what I'm saying? Just to get back into it and not to jump off track, Quill was a part of the Shottas, and Quill ended up fading off when Hattie and them came to the scene. So, the thing was, with Cheek and them, they was on that Too Raw for the Streets era. You know what I mean? It was a lot of niggas that was trying to get on Star joints. Star wasn't letting niggas on joints. And he do got footage with niggas, but he wasn't putting it out. That was another thing that them niggas was doing back then, is they'd let you get on the DVD and put it out. And Star had a lot of footage from a lot of niggas. And after, even, it might be years later, he got a channel now. Shout out to him. No disrespect, but this is just a fact. You know, it's niggas that got on later on, like Kate Walker and certain artists like that. And these niggas get on, and now he releasing the footage like 15 plus years later. You know what I mean? But he held on the footage, so I gotta salute him for that. So, but it was a lot of niggas trying to get on Too Raw for the Streets. Too Raw for the Streets was it. You had niggas like PD and Free on them joints, but when they was still, what was that? Ice City, before they had even got signed to Rock. You had Crack and Free on them joints, heavy. Shout out to Crack too. Check my interview out with Crack if you ain't see it, because he talk about all that as far as, you know, the Too Raw for the Streets era and getting signed to Rock. But not to get off track, so you know what I'm saying, they on there smoking these joints, but it was a lot of niggas that couldn't get on there. That's how the headshot wave started. That's how Hattie and Meek and all of them start booming. When I was at Glen Mills, and this was 04, 05, it was shout out to Coleman, because we went by last names in the Mills. My man Coleman that was in Hayes Hall with me back then. I don't know where you at, player. You know what I'm saying? God's willing, you still, you know what I'm saying, you still around, because we know it's goofy in this city. But Coleman kept telling me, because we had a team of uptown niggas, you know what I'm saying? But all Philly niggas stuck together, period, in there. Because it was niggas from everywhere in that joint. The Mills is like the Feds for young guys. You know what I mean? It was people in there for bodies and all of that from different states. But Philly guys stuck together. So we in there talking about Cheek and Vok. Shout out to my man McNeil, man. Rest in peace, bro. Bo. You know what I mean? That was a close friend of Vok, you know what I mean? And we was in there spitting that Cheek and Vok stuff, and Coleman kept telling me like, yo, keep my eye out for my man Meek Mill, bro. Meek Mill, he next. You know what I mean? Coming from South Philly, and we like, alright, you know what I mean? We wasn't trying to hear it back then, because Cheek and Vok and them, and This Is Fortune and Scrap Metal, they all had the ball. We wasn't trying to hear it, but he was right. Came home, and, you know, little did we know, look at where Meek at today. He done passed everybody, but, you know, we was in there spitting that, and it was just crazy because they were so impactful to the rap culture. Is like, these guys were celebrities, bro. Like, niggas was spitting they raps like you was spit one of Beans or old Skino Jones back then, bro. So, long story short, man, to get back into it, they got their team together. I told you, Quill ended up going with Hattie and them. This is when the headshot wave pop out. Not Hattie and them. He ended up going with Hattie and Jones. He became a go-getter. So one thing nobody ever talk about, and I'm going to keep it a stack, bro. I don't care how nobody feel, bro. What I'm saying is a fact, bro. Quill Block, Haynes and Money, a.k.a. Haynes and Morton, bro. 5 minutes from my section of the hood, walking distance. You know what I mean? I seen Quill 1,000 times, you know what I'm saying, in life, period. You know what I'm talking about? Shout out to Waterview and all of that. Y'all know what time it is, bro. This SV Twizzy right here talking. Quill was under the umbrella of Vodka and Cheek. When his hotness, when we hear his bars and all of that, he come from under that umbrella. Vodka and Cheek set the bar for Quill, bro. They set the bar for Quill on. You ain't hot if you can't stand out rapping next to one of us, you ain't hot. You not hot, bro. So I gotta say that Quill got his thoroughness of rap, him being hot, from being under that umbrella of Cheek and Quill. Then he went with Hattie, Go-Getters, and Hattie was one of the niggas where it was like Cheek was a grimy rapper. Cheek was, you know, if we gonna put him in a bracket, we gotta put him in a bracket of a Styles P. We gotta put him in a, you know, the grimy and the aggressiveness Styles P X. You know, we gotta put Cheek in that category. And the rest of the Shottas, Lil Man and Buckz and all of them, you know what I mean? It was all grimy rap, and how they carried themselves. You know what I'm saying, is you know, the grimy Philly street nigga, bro. Is like, you know, you ain't heard Lil Man talking about riding around in foreign cars and stuff like that. Niggas just riding around in Grand Marquis, Park Ave. You know what I'm talking about? Stuff like that, and to blow your head, clean off your shoulders type of rap. That was the rap that the Shottas offered. Hattie was get money. Hattie was about money. Hattie was about having money. You know what I'm saying? Hattie was about taking your girl. Hattie was about, you know what I'm saying, he was Joey Prada. Joey Jihad made Pradas famous in Philly. So when we heard on, like when Meek and all that was on the appetizer with Oskino, the patent leather Pradas on me looking like a bowling ball. Hattie made them joints famous in the city of Philly. The Pradas, bro. You know what I'm saying? The Pradas at the end of the day. You already know how we carry it, man. Like, it was, you see Hattie on Tuesday, he got the red Pradas on. Friday, he got the black Pradas on. Wednesday, he got the blue Pradas on. Like, he had Pradas for every day of the week. And that was heavy back then because niggas wasn't up on that. Like, of course, niggas knew what Prada was and Gucci was and all that. But the average street nigga from Philly, they wasn't dressing like that. We talking about the Air Force One era. We talking about the state property Rockaware era. You know what I mean? Niggas was dressing different. But he was, you know what I'm saying, he was always, Hattie was always a classy type nigga where it was like, nigga, I got Versace on, I got this on. It was always that with Hattie. So that's what grew with Quilly, why Quilly is how he today as far as appearance. When you heard him talking about the Montclairs, you heard him the Fendi and all of that. That energy came from Hattie. Because Cheek and Vok and You know what I'm saying? Philly period at that time, it was all griminess, bro. Like, niggas wasn't, long as you had some academic jeans on and Nietzsche, stuff like that, you was good to go. You know what I'm talking about? Fresh Forces, whatever. That's what it was. So Quill ended up leaving and he goes with the Go-Getters. This is when we got to see the first beef on a DVD. This is before Touch Money and Headshots, any of that. Is when Quill went and rocked out with the Getters. Cheek and them start snapping like, bro, you coming up under our umbrella, you came up under our umbrella, and now you over here with this guy. You not even from North, you know what I mean? You a uptown nigga. What is you down Delhi and Dolphin for, all on the blogs? You know what I'm saying about, like, with Jonesy and Hattie? This is when the feud started. They going back and forth, it was lit. Then right after that, you got the Headshots and Touch Money and all that. It was heavy. But if you notice, when it came to Cheek, nobody ever had no issue with Cheek, bro. None of these niggas from the DVD era. Reed went at Cheek because Cheek was that nigga. Cheek was before Reed and all of them. He was that nigga. So this is how niggas was trying to get to the top. If you was the hottest back then, niggas was pulling to your block and battling you. But since Reed didn't get to pull the Cheek block and they didn't get to battle face to face, he did it over DVD and bombed on Cheek and tried to bomb on Vok. Vok wasn't into all of that back and forth stuff. You know what I mean? Vok is a, you know, that's cool right there. He a whole different breed. He wasn't into that. If y'all face to face, that's one thing. But Vok is just, you know, he just a whole different type of creature. You know what I'm saying? But I believe Cheek responded. But Reed joined court more light because niggas ain't know who Reed was. Like, Reed was getting his name up at that time. So for him to, you know, that joint where he went in on Cheek, and he was like, Cheek, you looking skinny as you hitting the glass on that joint. Like, you know, niggas like, whoa, this nigga is talking crazy. And niggas never heard nobody talking to Cheek like that. So we gonna keep rolling. And at this time, a bunch of rappers from the Philly is out now. You know what I'm saying? From Philly is out now. Meek, all of them is out. Meek come out, bring a whole different energy. You know what I mean? You see him out there with 1,000 South Philly Mel Love. He got the Bloodhounds, Young Pooh and them, that nigga Lil. They was smoking stuff. Shout out to that nigga Lil too. That's my guy, man. But you know, they was smoking stuff. Then you got Headshots, you got Magic and all of them, heavy ad-libs and all of that. The DVD scene is full at this time. Now, you got, on the Shottas, you got Cheek, Lil Man, Buckz, and Hannibal. So what happens, bro? What happens next? They got this dream team, 50 and all of them. 50 was supposed to be signing the Shottas. It was an artist from Philly that's lit, that has a name, and interfered with that, bro. You know what I'm saying about, like, it's an artist from Philly that interfered with them getting a deal with G-Unit, with under 50. 50 was about to sign these group of guys, and it's an artist from Philly that, you know, said, no, these guys is, you know, they hot. They hot, bro. They had a bunch of stuff going on in the streets. No different than when OBH was moving, and it was, you know, allegedly things said behind scenes to certain artists. That wasn't the first situation. Cheek and them was supposed to get signed to 50, bro. And an artist blackballed him because he was saying, no, these guys, Cheek was on a run or something like that. You know what I mean? It was either Cheek was on a run or Lil Man was on a run. It was something crazy like that. But anyway, that deal had ended up getting blocked from an artist from Philly. And if this joint get over 10,000 views and y'all want to know who the artist is, then, you know, just drop it in the comment. We got to get over 10 stacks. That means y'all got to share this joint and all of that. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, this SV Twiz, bro. And I'm a regular guy, bro. Regular street guy from the streets. And, you know, certain things can lead to certain things, bro. So, you know, if y'all want to know who that artist is, let's get this video up. Share that joint. drop the comments, but I'm not about to, even name this artist that blocked the situation. You know what I'm saying? If this video ain't whopping, if y'all ain't really hungry for it. So, an artist blackballed him, and after that, Lil Man get caught. He get caught up. Lil Man get caught up for a homicide and a robbery. You know what I mean? Homicide and a robbery. This is the first step of the downfall of the Shottas as a group back then. He get booked for a body and a robbery. That joint was crazy. Once again, the whole city was hearing about it. This was before the Instagram wave and all of that. It was unfortunate. It was a blessing that, not even to fast forward it, but this is what happened. He went down for the body and the robbery. Now you got Chic, you got Buckz, you got Hannibal. By this time, there's so many rappers that's lit in the city of Philly. Chic Raw wasn't even rapping then, because now he had somebody like 50 that came at him. So Chic like, I'm up here. He got comfortable. Chic got comfortable because he knew he was one of the forefathers of this DVD stuff. So he thought that regardless of how hot any of these niggas was, I'm Chic Raw, bro. These niggas know who I am, which they did. But now you got a lot of different artists where these people that signed is checking these DVDs out, and they coming at all these niggas now. All these niggas on the DVDs, most of them got offered some type of deal. So, long story short, once again, Buckz get booked. Buckz get booked for a body too. It was like, if I'm not mistaken, it was like a homicide and an attempt, where it's crazy because I was locked up with one of the guys that Buckz allegedly had shot. You know what I'm talking about? It was the DVD that was getting shot, and it was guys trying to get a buzz. They was coming up, and in the middle of the DVD, the cameraman out there shooting, and allegedly Buckz came, you know what I'm saying? They was shooting it back Brickyard. Brickyard, that's Buckz hood. That's all in my, you know what I'm saying? Once again, that's in my section. Like, another 5-minute ride, like, So by this time, it's like Chic was going through so many things in real life. Had a deal on the table. The deal got blackballed. So then you get discouraged, bro. Like, it's very sad because he was definitely a childhood star. And he was one of the most impactful artists from the city of Philly during this DVD era. So the crazy part is, you had Lil Man down for a homicide and a robbery. He beats the homicide, loses the robbery, goes upstate, comes home, you know what I'm saying? And by the time he come home, the game has just changed so much. Buckz get found guilty for his homicide, gave his life sentence back, comes home, and the same story for Buckz, you know what I mean? It's so different now, where we never thought that our generation would end up being dinosaurs, but music changed so much, and now you have the Philly drill wave, which is, in Philly, and you hear things where they talk about, the drill wave started in Chicago.